Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitanscha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So continuing with Mahabharata, Virata Parva, the Go-Grahana Parva, chapter 632, part 36. Vaishampayana said, having emerged from the capital, Virata's son, Prithrinjaya, told his charioteer, go where the Kurus are. Having defeated all the Kurus who have assembled in search of victory, and having quickly recovered the cattle, I will return to my city again. Then the descendant of Pandu lineage goaded those excellent steeds. Urged by that lion among men, those horses, which were fleet as the wind and were bedecked in golden garlands, carried them as if they seemed to touch the sky. And having travelled a short distance, Matsya's son and Dhananjaya, the destroyers of enemies, beheld the powerful Kuru army. They approached the Kurus near a cremation ground. They saw the gigantic army, which made a sound like that of the ocean, and was like a forest with many trees crawling through the sky. O supreme among men, the kings saw the dust swirling around, making it difficult for beings to see and extending up to the sky. The giant army was full of elephants, horses, and chariots. It was protected by Karna, Duryodhana, Kripa, and Shantanu's son, Bhishma, and by the intelligent and great archer Drona, together with his son Ashwatthama. On seeing this, Virata's son was frightened, and his body hair stood up. He told Partha, I cannot fight with the Kurus. On seeing them, my body hair is standing up. There are many terrible warriors, impossible for even the gods to vanquish. I cannot repulse the Kuru soldiers, who seem to stretch to eternity. I cannot enter the army of the Bharatas with its terrible bows, large numbers of chariots, elephants and horses, and full of infantry and flags. On seeing the enemy in the battlefield, my soul has begun to tremble. Drona, Bhishma, Kripa, Karna, Vivimshati, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, Somadatta, Ballika, and brave King Duryodhana, supreme among charioteers, are there. There are many other radiant and great archers, all skilled in fighting. On seeing the Kurus armed and arranged in battle formation, my body hair has begun to stand up, and I have become overcome with lassitude. On saying this, the stupid one wished to return and lamented foolishly before Sabyasachi, who did not withdraw. My father has gone to fight with the Trigartas and has left me alone in charge. He has taken all the soldiers, and I have no soldiers. I am alone against many, and I am only a child. They are skilled in weapons and possess experience. I cannot fight with them. O Brihanara, return. Arjuna replied, you are miserable from fear. Why are you increasing the delight of your enemies? The enemies haven't yet done anything against you in the battlefield. You yourself told me to take you towards the Kauravas. I will take you to the place where there are many flags flying. O mighty armed one, I will take you to the midst of the Kurus who are assassins. Footnote. The word used is atatayin. This has several meanings, murderer or assassin being one, but it can also be used for thieves, ravishers, and arsonists. End of footnote. And like vultures looking for flesh, even if they fight from inside the earth. You boasted of your manliness before women and men before we set out. Why do you not wish to fight? O brave one, if you return home without having recovered the cattle, all the men and women will laugh at you. Sairendri praised me because of my deeds as a charioteer. I will not be able to return to the city without having recovered the cattle. Sairendri praised me, and you ordered me. Why should I not fight with all the Kurus? Be steadfast. Uttara said, let the Kurus rob many riches from the Matsyas as they wish. O Brihanala, let men and women laugh at me. Having spoken these words, the evil-souled one jumped down from the chariot. Sporting earrings, he abandoned his pride and threw away his bow and arrows. Brihanara said, running away has never been said to be the dharma of brave Kshatriyas. Dying in battle is superior to running away in fear. Speaking these words, Kaunteya Dhananjaya descended from that supreme chariot. He pursued the prince who was running away. His long braid trailed and his red garment fluttered. On seeing him run with his trailing braid, and not knowing that it was Arjuna, some soldiers laughed on seeing this strange form. But on seeing him run swiftly, the Kuru said, who is disguised in this form, like a fire beneath ashes? He seems to be partly a man and partly a woman. Though he is in the form of a eunuch, he seems to resemble Arjuna. He has the same head and neck and arms like clubs. His gait is also the same. This can be no other than Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is to men what the Lord of Gods is to the immortals. Who in this world, other than Dhananjaya, will come alone to fight with us? Virata left a single son in that deserted city, and he ventured forth because of his childish folly, not because of his manliness. That must be Partha Arjuna, who is running there in disguise. Uttara made him his charioteer when he emerged from the city. It seems to us, having seen our flags, he is frightened and is running away. It must certainly be Dhananjaya who is running after him to restrain him. Individually, all the Kurus thought in this way. O descendant of the Bharata lineage. But having seen the Pandava in disguise, they were unable to arrive at a definite conclusion. Meanwhile, Dhananjaya ran after Uttara. Within 100 steps, he seized him by the hair. Seized by Arjuna, Virata's son began to lament in many piteous words, as if he had been sorely oppressed. I will give you 100 nishkas made of pure gold. I will give you 8 sparkling Vaidurya gems set in gold. I will give you a chariot with golden standard, drawn by well-trained horses, and 10 mad elephants. O Brihanala, let me go. While the insensate one was lamenting in these words, the tiger among men laughed and brought him to the chariot. Partha spoke to the frightened one who had lost his senses. O destroyer of enemies, if you are incapable of fighting with the foes, control the horses while I fight with the enemy. Protected by my strength of arms, let us penetrate this unassailable and terrible mass of chariots, protected by heroes who are Maharathas. O foremost among princes, O scorcher of enemies, Do not be afraid. You are a Kshatriya. I will fight with the Kurus and recover your animals. Either that impenetrable and unassailable mass of chariots. Sorry, enter that impenetrable and unassailable mass of chariots. O best among men, be my charioteer while I fight with the Kurus. O bull among the Bharata lineage, having thus spoken to Virata's son, the unvanquished Bibatsu reassured Uttara for an instant. Then Partha, supreme among warriors, made the unwilling and insensate one, oppressed by fear, ascend the chariot. Chapter 366, part 37. Vaishampayana said, on seeing that bull among men ascend the chariot in the form of a eunuch and head for the Shami tree, after having made Uttara ascend the chariot, the supreme charioteers among the Kurus, with Bhishma and Drona at the front, were all agitated in their minds out of fear of Dhananjaya. On seeing them lose their endeavour and seeing extraordinary omens, the preceptor Bharadwaja, as Dronacharya, supreme among wielders of weapons, said, violent and turbulent winds are blowing, rough and harsh in tone. The sky is covered in darkness that has the complexion of ashes. The clouds are extraordinary to look at, with a rough hue. Many weapons are coming out of their sheaths. Jackals are lamenting, and the directions are ablaze with a terrible light. The horses are shedding tears. The flags are fluttering, though there is nothing to move them. Since many such portents can be seen, be steadfast, because a great battle must be near. Protect yourselves and arrange yourselves in battle formations. Wait for slaughter and protect the wealth of cattle. This is a brave and mighty archer, supreme among those who are skilled in all weapons. There is no doubt that it is Partha who has arrived in the form of a eunuch. This is the valorous Partha, Sabyasachi, the scorcher of enemies. He will not refrain from battle, even against masses of Maruts. The brave one suffered difficulties in the forest and was trained by Vasava. He is intolerant, and there is no doubt that he will do battle. O Kauravas, I do not see a warrior who is capable of repulsing him. It is said that Partha satisfied Mahadeva himself in battle. Karna replied, you always belittle us by speaking about Falguna's qualities. But Arjuna isn't worth one kala of me or Duryodhana. Footnote, kala means a small part or fraction. An addition, kala means a digit of the moon, and 16 kalas make up the entirety. Therefore, Arjuna is a small part of Karna and Duryodhana, and specifically 1/16 of either of them. End of footnote. Of me or Duryodhana. Duryodhana said, O Radha, if it is Partha, my task will be accomplished. Once recognized, they will have to roam again for another 12 years. Or, if it is some other man in the form of a eunuch, I will soon bring him down to the ground with extremely sharp arrows. When Dhritarashtra's son, scorcher of enemies, spoke these words, Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, and Drona's son honored his manliness. Chapter 364, 38. Vaishampayana said, on reaching the Shami tree, Partha told Virata's son, whom he knew to be extremely delicate and not experienced in battle, O Uttara, instructed by me, swiftly fetch my bows. Yours will not be able to withstand my strength, or bear great pressure, or strike down an elephant, or sustain the force of my arms when I defeat the enemies. O Bhuminjaya, therefore quickly climb this shami tree that is covered with foliage. The bows of the sons of Pandu are hidden there. Yudhishthira, Bhima, Bibatsu, and the twins, as well as the flags and arrows and the divine armor of those brave ones. There is also Partha's extremely mighty bow, Gandiva. This is capable of extending the kingdom and is alone the equal of 100,000 others. It is capable of withstanding exertions. It is as large as the king of grass. Footnote: Trinaraja, the king of grass, coconut, bamboo, sugarcane, and palmyra are all variously referred to as the king of grass. It is capable of, end of footnote. No, it is the equal of all weapons and creates destruction among enemies. It is embellished with gold, divine, smooth, broad, and without any blemishes. It can withstand heavy pressure. It is terrible and beautiful to look at. All the other bows are equally powerful and firm. Uttara replied, it has been heard that a corpse is tied to this tree. I am a prince. How can I touch it with my hands? I have been born in the Kshatriya lineage, and that does not befit me. I am a great prince who knows about mantras and sacrifices. O Brihanara, if I touch it, it will become polluted as that of the bearer of corpses. How can you ask me to touch it and become the subject of condemnation? Brihanara said, O Indra among kings, you may become the subject of condemnation, but you will remain clean. Do not be frightened. There are bows here and no corpses. You are spirited and have been born as the heir to the Matsya lineage. O son of a king, why should I ask you to perform a reprehensible act? Thus addressed by Partha, Virata's son, adorned in earrings, descended from the chariot and reluctantly climbed the shami tree. Dhananjaya, the destroyer of enemies, remained on the chariot and instructed him from there. Remove the covers quickly. He removed the covers from every side and saw Gandiva and the other 4 bows. Having been freed, the bows were as resplendent as the rays of the sun. A divine radiance glowed, like the planets at the time of their risings. On seeing their forms, like sighing snakes, his body hair stood up and he was terrified for an instant. He then touched those radiant and giant bows. O King, Virata's son spoke these words to Arjuna. Uttara asked, this supreme bow is worth 1,000 crores of gold. It is embossed with 100 golden eyes. Whom does it belong to? This supreme bow has excellent sides and is easy to hold. Its back shines with golden and tusked elephants. Whom does it belong to? The back of this supreme bow is embellished with 60 fireflies set in patterns made out of pure gold. Whom does it belong to? This supreme bow is dazzling in luster. The rays of 3 golden suns decorate it. Whom does it belong to? This supreme bow is adorned with gold and jewels and is decorated with golden locusts made out of pure gold. Whom does it belong to? These 1,000 iron arrows are borne by feathers. They have gold and silver tips and are in golden quivers. Whom do they belong to? These large arrows are broad. They have the feathers of vultures and have been sharpened on stone. These arrows are completely made out of iron and are yellow like the color of turmeric. They have excellent tips. Who do they belong to? This black quiver has the marks of 5 tigers and the ears of sows. It holds 10 arrows. Whom does it belong to? These 700 arrows wish to drink blood. They are large and long and are entirely made out of copper. Whom do they belong to? These arrows have the feathers of parrots and the lower halves are well made. The upper half made of iron and have yellow embellishments made of gold. They have been sharpened on stone. Whom do these belong to? This long sword has a stone at the tip and stones at the back. It is in a large and excellent scabbard made out of tiger skin, decorated in golden patterns and tinkling with bells. Whom does this large sword belong to? This divine sword is without blemishes and has a gold hilt. Whom does it belong to? This unblemished sword is in a scabbard made out of cowskin. Whom does it belong to? It has been made out of gold in the country of the Nishadas and is capable of bearing a great weight. This sword with the golden hilt is in the scabbard made out of the skin of an animal with 5 nails. Footnote. The text translates as an animal with 5 nails. Specifically, it could be a tiger, a lion, an elephant, a turtle, or any other such animal. End of footnote. It is excellent in form and is yellow like the sky. Whom does it belong to? This yellow and heavy sword is in a golden scabbard that is made out of molten gold and has the complexion of fire. It is supreme and without blemishes. Whom does it belong to? O Brihanara, I am asking you. Tell me exactly. I have become overcome with great and extreme wonder at witnessing all these things. Brihanara said, the one you have asked about first is Partha's bow Gandiva, famous in the world and capable of destroying enemy armies. It is supreme among all weapons and is embellished with pure gold. This is Arjuna's supreme weapon. It is equal to 100,000 others and is the extender of kingdoms. Using this, Partha defeated gods and men in battle. For eternity, gods, Danavas, and Gandharvas have worshipped it. Brahma held it earlier for 1,000 years. Then Prajapati held it for 503 years. Shakra for 85, King Soma for 500, and Varuna for 500 years. Partha, born by white steeds, has possessed it for 65 years. This supreme bow is extremely powerful and greatly divine. It is supreme in its resplendent form and is honored by gods and mortals. That bow, with the golden grip and excellent sides, is Bhimasena's. Using this, Partha, the scorcher of enemies, conquered the entire eastern direction. O son of Virata, this supreme bow, with the handsome grip and decorated with fireflies, belongs to King Yudhishthira. The one on which radiant and golden suns blaze, resplendent with energy, is Nakula's weapon. The one that is embellished with gold locusts is the bow of Madri's son Sahadeva. O son of Virata, these 1,000 arrows are as sharp as razors and are feathered. These arrows are like the venom of snakes and belong to Arjuna. Their energy blazes in battle and they are swift. When the warrior unleashes them in the battle against enemies, they are not exhausted. These sharp arrows destroy enemies and belong to Bhima. They are broad and long and have the form of crescent moons. These arrows are yellow and have golden shafts and belong to Nakula. Been sharpened on stone and are in a quiver that has the marks of 5 tigers. With this quiver, Madri's intelligent son conquered the entire western direction in battle. These arrows are as radiant as the sun and are throughout made of iron. belong to the intelligent Sahadeva. They are decorated and are capable of performing action. These great arrows are sharp, yellow, long shafted, and broad, and belong to the king, Yudhisthira. They have golden tufts and three joints. This long sword has the mark of a bee, and the front and at the rear. It is firm and is capable of withstanding great burdens. It was used by Arjuna in battle. This extremely large sword has a sheath that is made of tiger skin and belongs to Bhimasena. It is divine and capable of withstanding great burdens. It causes terror among enemies. This supreme sword has a golden hilt and belongs to the intelligent Kaurava Dharmaraja. It has an excellent blade and quiver. This firm sword is capable of withstanding great burdens and belongs to Nakula. It is colourful and is in a sheath made out of the skin of animal with 5 nails. This giant sword in a sheath that is made out of the skin of a cow and belongs to Sahadeva. It is firm and is capable of withstanding all burdens. 635:39. Uttara said, "These weapons of the great souled Parthas, who are swift in their deeds, are decorated in gold and are resplendent in their beauty. But where are Partha Arjuna and Kaurava Yudhisthira, Nakula, Sahadeva, Pandava, Bhimasena? All of them are great souled and are capable of destroying all enemies, but after they lost their kingdom in the game of dice, nothing has been heard about them. Where is the famous Panchali Draupadi, a jewel among women? After they were defeated in the game of dice, Krishna followed them into the forest." Arjuna replied, "I am Partha Arjuna. The gamester is Yudhisthira. Ballava, who cooks dishes for your father, is Bhimasena. Nakula is the one who tends the steeds, and Sahadeva is with the cattle. Know that Sairandri, because of whom the Kichakas were slain, is Draupadi." Uttara said, "I have heard 10 names of Partha earlier. I will have faith in your words if you can recount all of them to me." Arjuna replied, "I will tell you my 10 names: Arjuna, Falguna, Jishnu, Kiriti, Svetavahana, Bibhatsu, Vijaya, Krishna, Sabyasachi, and Dhananjaya." Uttara asked, "Why are you named Vijaya? Why are you Svetavahana? Why is your name Kiriti? Why are you Sabyasachi? Why are you Arjuna, Falguna, Jishnu, Krishna, Bibhatsu, and Dhananjaya? Tell me everything in detail. I have heard the reasons why the brave one obtained those names." Arjuna replied, "I have conquered all the countries and obtained all their wealth. I stand in the midst of riches. That is the reason I am known as Dhananjaya. When I go out to fight against those who are indomitable in battle, I never return without vanquishing them. And that is the reason I am known as Vijaya. When I fight in battle, white steeds with golden harnesses are yoked to my chariot. That is the reason I am Svetavahana. I was born on the slopes of the Himalayas when the 2 nakshatras of Purva and Uttara Falguni were in the firmament. That is the reason I am known as Falguna. In earlier times, when I fought with the bulls among the Danavas, Shakra gave me a diadem as radiant as the sun for my head. That is the reason I am Kiriti. I have never committed a terrible act in battle. Therefore, I am known among gods and men as Bibhatsu. Both my hands are right hands when I draw the Gandiva. Therefore, I am known among gods and men as Sabyasachi. My complexion is rare on this earth with its four corners. I perform pure deeds, and that is the reason I am known as Arjuna. I am difficult to reach. I cannot be repressed, and I do the repressing. I am the son of the chastiser of Paka. That is the reason I am famous among gods and men as Jishnu. Affectionately, my father gave my 10th name of Krishna, since the child had a dark complexion. Vaishampayana said, Then Virata's son showed his homage to Partha and said, My name is Bhuminjaya, and I am also known as Uttara. It is my good fortune that I have beheld Partha. O Dhananjaya, you are welcome. O red-eyed one, O mighty armed one, O one with arms like the trunks of the king among elephants, you should pardon me for what I have said out of ignorance. You have earlier performed many wonderful and difficult deeds. I have now overcome my fears, and I feel great affection towards you. You want to have a go, Mathura?
Just go until you're tired.
I'll do one more. You be ready then, yeah?
Okay, I'll get ready then. Okay.
Okay, 636, 40. Uttara said, O brave one, ascend this large chariot with me as the charioteer. Which of the armies would you like to attack? As instructed by you, I will take you there. Arjuna replied, O tiger among men, I am pleased that you no longer have any fear. O one who is skilled in battle, I will disperse all of your enemies in battle. O immensely intelligent one, be steady and behold me fight with the enemies. I will accomplish extremely terrible deeds. Swiftly tie all these quivers to my chariot. Take that polished sword that is embellished with gold. I will fight with the Kurus and recover your animals. Protected by my arms, this chariot of yours, with its 3 poles and quivers, with many flags, will be like a city protected by turrets and gates. Its sides will be guarded by my resolution. When I am angered, the twang of my bow will make the axle sound like kettle drums. I, the wielder of Gandiva, will be established on the chariot in battle. I am incapable of being vanquished by enemy soldiers. O son of Virata, shed all your fears. Uttara said, I am no longer afraid of them. I know that you are steadfast in battle. I know that you are equal to Keshava or Indra himself in battle. But thinking about one thing, I am overcome by confusion. It is certain that I am foolish, because I cannot arrive at any conclusion. You have the form of a brave one and bear all the auspicious marks. Through what adverse circumstances did you become an eunuch? You are like the wielder of the trident, or king of the Gandharvas, or god Satakratu. I think of you roaming in the attire of a eunuch. Arjuna replied, I am telling you truthfully. I have observed this vow for a year on the instructions of my elder brother. I have observed brahmacharya. O mighty armed one, I am not a eunuch, but united with dharma I have followed another. O son of a king, know that my vow has been completed. Uttara said, I am extremely delighted today that my conclusions have not been proved wrong. Those who are supreme among men cannot be eunuchs like these. I have now obtained an aid in battle and can fight even with the immortals. My fears have been destroyed. Tell me what I should do. I will control the horses, your horses, which are capable of vanquishing the chariots and of enemies. O bull among men, I have been trained in driving a chariot by an expert. O bull among men, know that I have been trained as a charioteer, like Daruka for Vasudeva and Matali for Shakra. The horse that is yoked to the right of the pole is like Sugriva, and when his feet touch the ground, they can hardly be seen. I think that the other beautiful horse that is yoked to the left of the pole is like Meghapushpa in his speed. I think that the beautiful horse with the golden harness that is yoked to the left of the axle is superior in strength and speed to Sainya. I think that the one that is yoked to the right of the axle is superior in strength and speed to Balahaka. I'll add my own footnote there. Those four horses there are Krishna's horses. So he's saying his horses are like Krishna's horses. This chariot is capable of bearing an archer like you in battle. While stationed on this chariot, it is my view that you will be able to fight. Vaishampayana said. The brave and strong one took the bracelets off his arms. He donned the beautiful wrist guards that would sound like drums. He tied his black and curly hair in a white garment. He swiftly strung Gandiva and drew the bow. When the bow was drawn, it uttered a great sound, as if a giant rock had been dashed against another rock. The earth trembled, and a turbulent wind began to blow. The birds were confused in the sky. The giant trees began to tremble from the sound that was like the roar of thunder. The Kurus got to know that Arjuna was on the chariot and was drawing the best of bows with his arm.
You know what? Just before you did, my book fell over and I lost the page. Which page are we?
Page 86,
Eight,
chapter 637.
636. Yes?
Six,
Your
page
sound is
89.
not good on your voice. Say it again. I can't. Bloody hell.
Sorry, it's chapter 637.
7. So it's not 87. Okay, okay. I've got it. Hare Krishna. Carrying on, Go Dharana Parava 363741. Vaishampayana said, having made Uttara his charioteer, and having circumambulated the Shami tree, Dhananjaya gathered all his weapons and marched out. The Mahabharata took down the banner of the lion and placed it below the Shami tree. He rode out with Uttara as the charioteer. He hoisted on the chariot the golden banner with the mark of a monkey with the tail of a lion, one created with divine illusion by Vishvakarma. He thought of the favours of the fire god. Having divined his thoughts, he instructed those beings to be on the flag. Maharata Bibachu Kunteya Shretavayahana was established on the colourful chariot with a flag and quivers. He donned his right wrist guards and grasped his bow and arrows. With the supreme of monkeys on his banner, he set out in a northern direction. The strong one, the destroyer of enemies, blew powerfully on his deep-sounding and large conch shell and made the body hair of his enemies stand up. At that sound, the swift horses knelt down on the ground. Uttara was terrified and sat down on the chariot. Kunteya, Arjuna, grasped the reins and made the horses stand up. He embraced and comforted Uttara and said, O foremost among princes, do not be frightened, O scorcher of enemies, you are a Kshatriya. O tiger among men, why are you despondent in the midst of the enemy? You have heard the sounds of conch shells before, as well as the loud sounds of kettle drums, and the roar of elephants when they are stationed in battle formations and armies. Why are you then so frightened by the sound of a conch shell? Why is your form so despondent, and why are you so terrified as if you were an ordinary man? Uttara replied, I have heard the sound of conch shells and the loud sound of kettle drums and also the roars of elements when they're stationed in battle formations and armies. But never before have I heard the sound of a conch shell like this. Never before have I seen a banner like this. Never before have I heard the sound of a bow twanging like this. My mind is terribly agitated from the sound of this conch shell, and the twang of the bow, and the roar of the chariot. I have lost all sense of all the directions, and my heart is trembling. The banner has covered everything, and its directions are no longer evident to me. The sound of the Gandiva has deafened my ears. Arjuna said, "Stand firmly on this chariot, and to one side. Place your feet firmly on it. Grasp the reins firmly. I am going to blow the conch shell again." Vaishampayana said, "The earth trembled from the sound of the conch shell, the roar of the chariot, and the thunder of the Gandiva." Drona said, "From the roar of the chariot, the blast of the conch shell, and the trembling of the earth, it can be no one other than Sabyasachi. Our weapons are no longer shining, and our horses have lost their spirits. Although there is kindling, the fires do not blaze. This does not augur well. All the animals are running towards the sun, wailing terribly. The crows are alighting on our standards. This does not augur well. The vultures are flying towards our left, and this portends great danger. The jackals are howling and running around in the midst of the army and are escaping uninjured. This portends great danger. I can see that your body hair is standing up. The soldiers have already been conquered, and no one wishes to fight. Their faces are pale, and all the warriors have lost their senses. Let us let the cattle go. Let us stand here armed and arranged in battle formations. 63842. Vaishampayana said, "In that battle, King Duryodhana then spoke to Bhishma, Drona, the tiger among charioteers, and the great Mahabharata Kripa. Both Karna and I have told the preceptor this several times. I will say it again because I'm not satisfied with having spoken it earlier. When they were defeated, our pledge was that they would dwell for 12 years in the forest and undetected for 1 year in any country. The 13th year is not over yet. Bibatsu, who was supposed to live in disguise, appeared before us. If Bibatsu arrives before the period of concealment is over, the Pandavas will have to dwell again in the forest for 12 years. Their avarice may have made them forget, or we may have been confused. Bhishma should know whether they have exceeded or fallen short of the stipulated period. If things are not clear, there is always scope for doubt. Something that is always thought of in one way may turn out to be another. We followed the northern direction in order to fight with the army of the Matchas. However, if Bibatsu arrives, we cannot turn away. We came here to fight with the Matsyas on behalf of the Trigatas. The many depredations of the Matsyas have been recounted to us. They sought refuge with us out of fear, and we have given them our promise. The arrangement was that they would first, on the afternoon of the 7th lunar day, seize the great wealth of cattle of the Matsyas, and we would again do the same at sunrise on the 8th lunar day. They may not have been able to find the cattle, or they may have been defeated. They may have deceived us and concluded an alliance with the Matsyas. Or the Matsya, together with his countrymen, may have defeated them. With his entire army, he is now advancing towards us to fight. It is possible that an extremely valorous one among them is leading the way so as to defeat us. Or it may be Matsya himself. Whether it is the king of Matsya or whether it is Bibatsu who has arrived, it is our agreement that all of us must fight. Why are our supreme charioteers, Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, Vikama, and Drona's sons, standing idly on their chariots? All of these Maharatas seem to be confused at this time. There is no other option but to fight. Therefore, resolve yourselves accordingly. If to save the cattle, we have to confront and battle the god who wields the Bajra, or Yama himself, who would flee to Hastinapur. There may be doubt about the horses, but who among the foot soldiers will remain alive, even if they have been pierced by arrows and dispersed in the deserted forest? Setting the preceptor aside, let us decide on the course of action. He knows their minds and tries to terrify us. I can perceive his special affection towards Arjuna. As soon as he sees Bibatsu arrive there, that is the reason he praises him. Decide on a course of action so that our army is not destroyed in a foreign land, in the great forest, and in the summer. Decide on a course of action so that this army is not confused and routed by the enemy. Having heard the neighing of horses, why should one praise the enemy? Horses always neigh, whether they are walking or standing. The wind always blows, Vasava always showers down. The roar of the thunder can be heard many times. What does this have to do with Parata, and why should he be praised? That can only be out of love towards him and hatred and anger towards us. Preceptors are indeed compassionate and wise. They can see what is wrong, but they should never be consulted when a great danger arrives. Learned ones are adornments when they recount their beautiful tales in fine palaces, assemblies, and dwelling houses. Learned words are adornments. Learned ones are adornments when they perform wonderful acts in assemblies of people, when sacrificial offerings have to be prepared. They know the weaknesses of others and human characters. Learned ones are adornments when they find out defects in the preparation of food. But ignore learned ones when they praise the qualities of enemies. Instead, decide on a course of action so that the enemy can be culled. Let the cattle be protected. Let the soldiers immediately be arranged in battle formations. Arrange for guards in the appropriate places so that we may fight with the enemy. 63943. Karna said, I see that all you honourable ones are frightened and terrified. All of you do not wish to fight and are standing idly. Whether it is the king of Matsya or Bibatsu who has come, I will restrain him, the way the shoreline holds back the abode of the Makaras. Arrows with straight feathers will be shot from my bow, and they will not be repulsed like gliding snakes. They have golden tufts and are extremely sharp at the tip. Released from my hand, these arrows will cover Parta like locusts covering a tree. These winged shafts will firmly strike against the string of his bow, and the sound of the slapping of palms will be like that of a kettle drum. Bibatsu has concentrated for 8 and 5 years and is fondly looking forward to a battle in which he will strike me, Kundare. With the qualities of a Brahmana is the right receptacle to receive thousands of arrows shot by me. This great archer is famous in the world, O best of the Kurus, but in no way am I inferior to Arjuna. I will release these golden arrows shafted with the feathers of vultures, and the sky will seem to be covered with fireflies. I gave my word to Dhritarashtra's son earlier, and I will repay that debt today. I will kill Arjuna today. My feathered arrows will split the sky and envelop the directions. They will appear like locusts in the firmament. Parta's touch is like that of Indra's Vajra, and he is as energetic as the great Indra, but I will oppress him the way an elephant is oppressed with flaming torches. He is unassailable as the fire, but I will assail him with swords, spears, and arrows. The flaming Pandava burns down enemies, but the force of my horses will be like a storm, and the roar of my massive chariots will be like thunder. The shower of my arrows will be like a great cloud, and I will pacify Pandava. The arrows released from my bow will be like the virulent poison of snakes to Parata. Those arrows will pierce him like serpents gliding into a termite hill. I have obtained weapons from Jamadagni's son, supreme among rishis. Using their power, I can fight with Vasava himself. With an arrow, I will kill the monkey that is stationed at the top of his standard. It will fall down on the ground today, uttering a terrible roar. The other beings who are stationed on the enemy's flags will be tormented. Oppressed by me, they will fly in all the directions, and their wails will raise up into the sky. Today, I will uproot with its roots the stake that has been impaled in Duryodhana's heart for a long time. I will bring down Bibatsu from his chariot. Today, the Kauravas will see Partha bereft of his chariot. With his horses dead and his manliness destroyed, sighing like a serpent, let the Kurus go as they wish, taking only the riches with them, or let them be stationed on their chariots and witness my battle. 640-44, Creeper said, O Radeya, your mind is always wicked, and you are inclined towards war. You do not understand natural objections. You do not consider the consequences. We should think about the many courses of actions that are laid down in the sacred texts. Those who are learned in the ancient accounts have said that a war is the worst. A war guarantees victory only if it is at the right time and the right place. But if it is conducted at the wrong time, it does not bring any fruits. Valor at the right time and the right place is recommended for our welfare. We must decide on a course of action in accordance with what is favourable. The learned do not gauge how much of a loud a chariot can take on the words of its maker. Reflecting on this, it is not desirable to encounter Partha. He saved the crews alone, and he satisfied Agni alone. He alone spent 5 years in the pursuit of Brahmacharya. He was alone when he raised Subhadra onto a chariot and summoned Krishna to a duel. In the forest, Krishna won back Krishna when she was being abducted. He alone spent 5 years in Chakra's abode learning the use of weapons. He extended the fame of the Kurus by defeating Samyamini alone. That destroyer of enemies swiftly vanquished Chitrasena, the king of the Gandharvas, in a battle, together with his invincible army. In a similar way, he alone defeated Nivata Kavacha and Kalakanja Danavas, whom even the gods could not slay. O Karna, what act have you single-handedly performed earlier? Have you, like each of them, brought lords of the earth under your sway? Even Indra himself is incapable of facing Partha in battle. He who wishes to fight with him had better take some medicine. You wish to extend your right hand and use your forefinger to pluck out a fang from an angry and virulent snake? Or while roaming alone in the forest and without a goad, you wish to climb onto a mad elephant and drive it into the city? Or smearing yourself with clarified butter and attired in bark, you wish to pass through a blazing fire that has been killed with clarified butter, fat and marrow? What manliness is there in tying a giant rock around one's neck, binding oneself, and then trying to swim across the ocean? Oh, Karna! If one is unskilled in weapons and extremely weak and yet wishes to fight with Partha, who is skilled in weapons and strong, that shows foolishness. He has been deceived by us for 13 years. He is now like a lion that has been freed from its nooses. He will destroy all of us. We have unwittingly run into Partha waiting alone like a fire hidden in a well. We confront supreme danger. Although Partha is invincible in battle, we will fight him together when he comes upon us. Let the soldiers be armed and stationed in battle formations. O Karna, Drona, Duryodhana, Bhishma, you, Drona's sons, and I, all of us will fight Partha. Do not be rash. Though Partha is fierce, like the one with an upraised Vajra in his hand, if all 6 chariots are united together, we will be able to repulse him. With the soldiers arranged in battle formations and with the supreme archers ready, we will fight Arjuna in battle like the Danavas against Vasava. Madan, do you want to go back and carry on? Madan. Okay, I'll carry on a bit then because you're not there. Okay, 64145. Ashwatthama
I'll
said,
go, I'll,
are you there?
I'll go next. Yeah, I am,
Okay,
but you carry on.
okay, next one. Okay. Ashwatthama said, 64145. The cattle have not been conquered yet. They have not crossed the boundary, nor have they reached Hastinapur. O Karna, why are you boasting? Even after having won many battles, obtaining a great deal of riches, and winning many enemy lands, there is no manliness in boasting. The fire burns without a word, the sun shines in silence, the earth bears its beings immobile in silence. The deeds of the 4 Varnas have been laid down by the learned ones, so that they may achieve the objective of wealth without committing a sin. Having studied the Vedas, Brahmanas must sacrifice and officiate at sacrifices. Kshatriyas must use the bow and sacrifice, but officiate at the sacrifice of others. Having acquired objects, Vaishyas must perform deeds for the Brahman. Having obtained the earth in accordance with the sacred text, those immensely fortunate ones behaved well towards their preceptors, even if they were devoid of qualities. What Kshatriya should be satisfied at having obtained a kingdom through gambling? That is cruel and should be for ordinary men. Having obtained riches through deceit and fraud, that wise man will boast of it like a vendor of flesh. In which duel in battle have you vanquished Dhananjaya, Nakula, or Sahadev? Whose riches have you robbed? Has Yudhisthira or Bhima, supreme among strongers, ever been defeated by you? And in which battle did you win over Krishna? O performer of evil deeds, she was dragged into the assembly hall in a single garment when she was in season. In search of gain, you have severed the great root of a sandalwood tree. O brave one, you made them perform tasks. What did Vidura have to say then? We have seen that men exhibit conciliation to the best of their abilities. So do other kings, even insects and ants. The Pandavas are incapable of pardoning Draupadi's molestation. Dhananjaya has appeared for the destruction of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Appearing as a learned one, you speak your words repeatedly, but will Jishnu not end his enmity, leaving no vestiges left? Kunti's son Dhananjaya is not frightened of fighting the gods, the Gandharvas, the Asuras, or the Rakshasas. When he is enraged and descends on anyone in battle, he destroys them, like a tree brought down through Garuda's force. He is superior to you in valour. He is equal to the king of the gods in archery. He is Vasudev's equal in battle. Who will not show homage to Partha? He will fight and destroy, divine with divine, human with human, weapons with weapons. What man is Arjuna's equal? Those who know about Dharma know that a student comes only after a son. That is the reason why Drona loves Pandava. Will you fight with Pandava the way you gambled and won Indraprastha and the way you dragged Krishna to the assembly hall? This wise uncle of yours, Sakuni of Gandhara, is a deceitful gambler and is learned about the Dharma of Kshatriyas. Let him fight here now. Gandiva does not cast dice, nor Krita or Dvapara. Gandiva releases flaming, sharp and pointed arrows. When released from Gandiva, dreadful, extremely energetic and tufted with vulture feathers, they can even pierce the interiors of mountains. Antaka, Shamana death, and the fire with the mare's head leave something behind, but not an enraged Dhananjaya. Let the preceptor fight with Dhananjaya if he wishes. I will not fight with him. Our purpose is to fight with Matsya if he comes here, following the footprints of the cattle.
Haribol.
Wow.
Isn't it?
So valorous. Arjuna's just the dude, man.
Now, this Arjuna is really shining here, isn't he?
Oh God, it's just fabulous. It's just
Yeah.
he's so confident. He just knows who he is.
Yeah. I am the greatest.
Yeah, exactly. It's that. And they all know that, except for Karna and Duryodhana. They're all blinded. Anyway, it's so great, isn't it?
All right,
Fantastic.
I'll carry on for a bit then, shall I? Oh, you muted yourself.
Oh, sorry.
So shall I carry on for a little bit and then we'll end it?
1 minute. What's it? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. No, just do as long as you like. And
Okay.
uh,
Is Dina okay? Let's check in on Dina.
he doesn't. He's chilling out, man. He doesn't want to read. Just
All
carry
right.
on.
624, part 46. Bhishma said, Drona's son sees it well. Kripa sees it well. Karna wishes to fight in accordance with the dharma of Kshatriyas. No learned man can find fault with the preceptor. Considering the time and the place, it is my view that we should fight. What learned man who possesses 5 armed enemies is radiant as the sun? Footnote, the 5 Pandavas. Will not be confused at their ascendancy. Even men who are conversant with Dharma are confused when it comes to their own interests. O king, This is the reason I am speaking these words. Together they, whether they please you or not. What Karna spoke was for the purpose of inciting enterprise in us. The preceptor's son should pardon us, because a great task has to be undertaken. Kontea has arrived, and this is not the time for dissension. You, the preceptor and Kripa, must pardon everything. You are skilled in the use of weapons, like the sun in its radiance. Just as spots can never be removed from the moon, you have the power of Brahmanas, and Brahmastras are established in you. The four Vedas may be seen together in one place, and the power of Kshatriyas in another single place. We have not heard of these two together in any person other than the preceptor of the Bharatas and his son. That's referring to Drona and Ashwatthama. This is my view. Brahmastras and the Vedas are not seen together anywhere else. The preceptor's son should forgive. This is not the time for dissension. Let us all fight in unity with the son of the chastiser of Paka, who has now arrived. The learned ones have spoken about the weaknesses of an army, and it is the view of the learned ones that dissension is the foremost and the worst. Ashwatthama replied, let the preceptor forgive, and there should be peace here again. If the preceptor was insulted, that was done in anger. Vaishampayana said, O descendant of the Bharata lineage, at that Duryodhana asked Drona's pardon, together with Karna, Bhishma, and the great-souled Kripa. Drona said, I have already been pacified by the words that Santanu's son Bhishma spoke first. We should now engage and decide on the supreme course of action, so that when Duryodhana is engaged, no clouds descend on the soldiers out of rashness or out of confusion. Dhananjaya would not have shown himself had the period of dwelling in the forest not been over. He would not pardon us today without having recovered the riches. Let us follow a course of action so that he cannot confront and defeat the sons of Dhritarashtra in any way. O Gangeya, remember the words that Duryodhana had addressed to you earlier and speak what is right. Chapter 643, part 47. Bhishma said, parts of kalas, muhurtas, days, fortnights, months, nakshatras, planets, seasons, and years are joined together, and the wheel of time revolves in accordance with these measurements of time. Because of an excess of time and deviations on the paths of bodies in the sky, there is an addition of 2 months in every cycle of 5 years. I think that calculated in this way, during a passage of 13 years, there are 5 additional months and 12 nights. They have done everything that they had promised to do. Knowing this for certain, Bibatsu has arrived. All of them are great-souled and knowledgeable about Dharma and Artha. They have Yudhishthira as the king. Why should they act contrary to Dharma? The Kaunteyas are not avaricious, and they have accomplished a difficult feat. They have Yudhishthira as their king. Why should they act contrary to Dharma? They do not wish to acquire the kingdom by any means possible, else the descendants of the Kuru lineage would have displayed their valor at that time. They are bound by the nooses of Dharma, and they have not deviated from the vow of Kshatriyas. If there is a choice between being called untruthful and confronting defeat, the parters would choose death over being untruthful. But the time has now arrived. Such is the valor of those bulls among men, the Pandavas, who are protected by the wielder of the Vajra, that they will not give up what is their due. We must counter in battle the supreme among those who are skilled in weapons. Therefore, let everything be swiftly done, so that our objectives are not taken over by others, and so that the virtuous ones of the world do not think that we are against welfare. O Kaurava, O Indra among kings, I have never witnessed a battle where success has been assured. Dhananjaya has arrived. When one engages in battle, there is prosperity and adversity, victory and defeat. One will confront one or the other. I have seen this without doubt. Therefore, let us carry out the tasks that are needed for war, as long as those deeds are in conformity with Dharma. Dhananjaya has arrived. Duryodhana replied, O grandfather, I will not give the kingdom away to the Pandavas. Therefore, without any delay, let us make arrangements for battle. Bhishma said, If it pleases you to listen, hear what my advice is. Take 1/4 of the army and quickly leave for the city. Let another 1/4 gather the cattle and leave. We will counter the Pandava with the remaining half of the army, or Matsya, if he arrives again, or Satakratu himself. Let the preceptor be stationed in the middle, and Ashwatthama on the left. Let the wise Kripa, the son of Sharadat, protect the right flank. Karna, the armored son of the Sutta, should be stationed in the front. I will station myself behind the entire army so as to protect it. Chapter 644, part 48. Vaishnampayana said, The Mahabharata Kauravas thus arranged themselves in battle formations. Arjuna approached swiftly, his chariot uttering a roar. They saw the top of his standard. They heard the roar of his chariot. They heard the terrible sound of Gandiva when it was twanged. On seeing all this, and on seeing the Mahabharata, the wielder of Gandiva, arrive, Drona spoke these words. The top of the standard, which can be seen from a distance, belongs to Partha. That noise is like that of a monsoon cloud, and the monkey is roaring. The best of chariots is stationed on this. The best of charioteers is stationed on his chariot, and he is supreme among charioteers. He draws Gandiva, the best of bows, with a sound like that of thunder. These 2 arrows have fallen together at my feet. These 2 other arrows have passed me by, touching my ears. Having dwelt in the forest and having accomplished superhuman deeds, Partha is now honoring me and putting questions to my ears. Hare Arjuna said, O charioteer, stop the horses at the place from where I can use arrows on that army, until I am able to see that wretch among the Kuru lineage in the midst of the soldiers. When I see that insolent one, I will ignore all the others and pounce down on his head. Then all of them will be defeated. Drona is stationed there, and Drona's son is after him. Bhishma, Kripa, and Karna, great archers, are stationed there. But I do not see the king there. He must have gathered the cattle and left. Anxious to save his life, he must have resorted to the southern road, leaving the chariots and soldiers here. Go to where Suryodhana is. O son of Virata, that place is where I will fight, because the battle there will not be without meat. Having defeated him, I will gather the cattle and return. Vaishampayana said, at these words, Virata's son carefully reined the horses. He used the reins to restrain them from where the bulls among the Kurus were. He goaded the mounts in the direction towards which Duryodhana had gone. Ignoring the assembled chariots, Svetahana left. Drona got to know his intentions and spoke these words. Bibatsu does not wish to station himself here when the king is far away. He is advancing swiftly. Let us attack his flanks. When he is enraged, no one can fight him single-handedly in battle other than the god with the 1,000 eyes and Devaki's son, Krishna. What will we do with these cattle and these great riches if Duryodhana sinks like a boat in Partha's water? Meanwhile, Bibatsu went on and announced his name himself. He swiftly covered the soldiers with arrows that were like locusts. Because of the mass of arrows unleashed by Partha, the warriors were dispersed. They could not see the earth or the sky because they were enveloped with arrows. They had no inclination to fight, but nor did they have an inclination to run away. In their minds, they honored Partha's swiftness. He then blew the conch shell that made the body hair of enemies stand up. He drew his excellent bow and incited the beings on his flag. At the sound of the conch shell and the roar of the chariot's wheels and those of the inhuman beings who resided on the flag, the cattle raised up their tails and wailed on all sides. They returned towards the southern direction. I'll do one more, and then that'll do, I think. Chapter 645, part 49. Vaishampayana said, having routed the enemy's soldiers and having conquered the cattle, Arjuna, the supreme archers, in a desire to do that which brought him pleasure, advanced in Duryodhana's direction. The cattle ran away towards the Matsyas. Thinking that Kiriti had been successful and seeing him advance towards Duryodhana, the foremost among the Kurus swiftly descended on him. Beholding there many soldiers arranged in deep battle formations with many flags, the destroyer of enemies spoke these words to Matsya Virata's son. Use these golden reins to swiftly drive these white horses in that direction. Endeavor to quickly take me to where that mass of lion-like warriors is gathered. That evil-minded son of the Suta wishes to fight me like an elephant against another elephant. O Prince, Duryodhana's favors have made him insolent. Take me to him. Using the golden reins and driving the large horses that were as swift as the wind, Virata's son broke through that army of charioteers and bore Pandava to the middle. On seeing this, Maharata Chitrasena, Samgramajit, Satru, Saha, and Jaya advanced to help Karna and countered the advancing Bharata with their arrows and spears. With the flames of his bow and the scorching force of his arrows, that foremost among men burnt down the chariots of those bulls among the Kurus, like a fire consuming a forest. A terrible battle ensued. Atirata Vikarna, foremost among the Kurus, fiercely attacked Partha. Bhima's junior from a chariot and Bhima's junior, that's Arjuna, from a chariot and showered down arrows on him. He drew the firmly stringed bow that was embellished with the best of gold and routed Vikarna. He shattered the standard that was on his chariot. With his standard destroyed, he fled. Unable to control his anger, wishing to accomplish superhuman deeds, and seeing the oppression of the mass of soldiers, Satrum Patapa showered down arrows on the scorcher of enemies. He hurled the nail of a tortoise at Partha, pierced by that Atirata king, and immersed amidst the flags of foes. He pierced Satrumtapa with 5 swift arrows, and killed his charioteer with 10. Having been pierced by that bull among the Bharatas with an arrow that sliced through the armour on his body, the king fell down dead on the ground, like a tree dislodged from the peak of a mountain by the wind. Those brave bulls among charioteers were shattered in that battle by the braver bull among charioteers. They trembled like a gigantic forest that shivers at the time when the gale strikes it. Those foremost young ones among men were killed by Partha. In their fine garments they seemed to be asleep on the ground. They were the granters of riches and were like Vasava in their valour, but they were vanquished by Vasava's son in battle. They were like grown elephants from the Himalayas, clad in armour made out of iron and gold, thus slaying the enemies on the field of battle. The wielder of the Gandiva, foremost among men, began to roam around in that battlefield in different directions. He was like a forest fire at the end of the summer, and the time of spring, the wind that blows in the sky scatters the leaves. Like that, Kiriti scattered his enemies, and the Atirata roamed around on the battlefield on his chariot. Vaikartana's younger brother, spirited Samgramajit, drove red horses, and he killed those steeds. With a single arrow he sliced off his crowned head. On seeing his brother slain, Vaikartana, the Suta's son, exhibited his valour, as Karna, by the way, like a king of elephants displaying his tusks, or like a tiger attacking a large buffalo. Vaikartana attacked Pandava with 12 arrows. He pierced the bodies of all the horses and that of Virata's son with those arrows. It was like a king among elephants being struck by an elephant. He took out sharp arrows from his quiver, and stretching the string of the bow right up to his ear, pierced the body of the suitor's son with his arrows. With arrows unleashed like lightning from his bow, the destroyer of enemies pierced him in battle, in the arms, the thighs, the head, the forehead, the neck, and in all parts of the chariot. Thus, wounded by the arrows shot by Partha, and scorched by Pandava's arrows, like a swift elephant that has been defeated by another elephant, Vaikartana fled from the forefront of battle. Vaikartana, that's Karna. Karna ran away. I'll read one more because it's not very long. Chapter 646, and then stop. Part 50. Vaishampayana said, after Ratheya fled, the others, with Duryodhana in the lead, attacked with their respective armies and showered Pandava with arrows. On seeing those many soldiers arranged in battle formations attacking him with arrows, Virata's son said, what is your intention, O Jishnu? You are stationed on this beautiful chariot, and I am your charioteer. Towards which part of the army will I advance next? I will go where you ask me to. Arjuna replied, O Uttara, you can see the red-eyed one clad in the skin of a tiger. He is unhurt. He is stationed on a chariot with a blue flag. That is Kripa, and those are his chariots and soldiers. Take me to him. I will show that firm-bowed one my dexterity in use of weapons. The one with the pure and golden water pot on his flag is the preceptor Drona himself, supreme among those who have knowledge of all weapons. O brave one, circumambulate him cheerfully, without obstructing him in any way. That is the eternal Dharma. If Drona strikes at my body first, and I strike him back in return, he will not be angered. There is one who can be seen not far from him, with a bow on the top of his standard. That is the preceptor's son, Mahabharata Ashwatthama. I have always honoured him, and so have all the wielders of weapons. When you encounter his chariot, restrain again and again. There is one in the mass of chariots, clad in golden armour. He is stationed, surrounded by 1/3 of the army. An elephant on a golden flag can be seen on the top of his standard. That is Dhritarashtra's son, the illustrious King Suddhodana. O brave one, take this chariot before him. He can destroy the chariots of enemies. The king is indomitable in energy and is irrepressible in battle. In swiftness in the use of weapons, he is regarded as the foremost among Drona's pupils. But I will show him many times what it means to be swift in the use of weapons in battle. That one who has a beautiful elephant's enclosure embellished on his standard is Vaikartana Karna, whom you have known earlier. When you approach the chariot of that evil-souled Radha, be careful, because he always challenges me in battle. There is one whose flag is blue and is decorated with 5 stars. The brave one is stationed on his chariot. His hands are encased in guards. He has a large bow. He is stationed on his chariot, and his supreme flag is decorated with stars and the sun. A white and unblemished umbrella is held aloft his head. He is at the head of a great mass of chariots, with many flags and pennants. He is like the sun, stationed before a mass of clouds. His golden armour can be seen, like the moon and the sun. His golden helmet seems to trouble me. This is Shantanu's son Bhishma, a grandfather to all of us. He is blessed with royal prosperity, but obeys Duryodhana's instructions. You should approach him last, so that he does not cause an obstruction for me. When I fight with him, control the horses carefully. Vaishampayana said, O king, Virata's son carefully drove Sabyasachi to Kripa, who was ready to engage with Dhananjaya. Stop there,
Wow.
because it's so much more to go as well.
Yeah.
And stop the recording, Matura.
Yep.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.